Good morning. It's me again. So, let's do a few things. I've seen a lot of things on this particular website, YouTube, that deal with a lot with the 1911. But nothing I've seen on the 1911 or any 1911 type sidearm has dealt with something that I found by accident on my own. Springfield Armory 1911A1. Now, this is not your mil-spec, though it is also not what the gun enthusiast community calls the loaded variety. It does have a match grade trigger. It also has the bigger beaver tail, the better hammer, and as you can see, an ambidextrous safety. But it's got a rear sight that's adjustable for windage and a fixed front blade sight. No hash marks on the front of the slide, but it has it on the rear. And if I show you this particular, it does not have the full operating rod guide. Other than that, pretty decent little firearm. Now, as you can see, it is in the ready to go position, essentially. Now, squeezing on the trigger will not allow it to go because the grip safety is not being engaged. However, if you watch the slide catch with the hammer down, the slide safety will engage. Now here's something I found out just by performing a function check on this weapon after I took it apart and cleaned it thoroughly. Just so you can see. Here. There is nothing in that chamber. There is no magazine in the mag well. With the thumb safety on, slide catch, squeeze the trigger, 1, 2, 3. Now, if I were to thumb the safety off, as you can see, it's at half cock. Essentially, this thing has a decocking mechanism that I was not aware of when I got it. To perform a function check is very simple. After you reassemble the weapon, make sure it works correctly after you've cleaned it. Pull the slide all the way back, bring it all the way forward. Make sure that right here it's flush. The rear of the slide is flush with the rear of the frame. I can't talk this morning. With the safety on, you squeeze the trigger, nothing happens. Take the thumb safety off, it goes to half cock and decocks the weapon. Pull the hammer back, squeeze the trigger, squeeze and hold to the rear. The hammer should fall. Rack the slide while you're still squeezing the trigger. The hammer should remain to the rear, and when you release the trigger, you should hear a metallic click. Hear that? Squeeze the trigger again. The hammer should fall. So there is a way of decocking these things. You never want to drop the hammer completely on a 1911 that has a round chambered. There's a possibility of bumping that hammer, hitting the firing pin, and sending a round off that you never intended to fire. The easiest way to do that with a round in the chamber, if you want to decock it, alright, it's cocked, slide safety is up. There, squeeze the trigger a couple of times. Put your thumb in front of the groove on the rear. It takes some getting used to, but it is doable. When you thumb off the safety, you're going to get hit in the thumb with you, in your other thumb with the hammer. Better that than the decocking mechanism failing and striking the firing pin. If it does fail, disassemble the weapon immediately, check and clear it. There you go. Easy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I like this, but I would like to get a mag well for this. And a little extension to go on the bottom of my magazine. But just remember, when dealing with any type of firearms, 4 basic rules for firearm safety. Rule number 1, even if it's in pieces right in front of you, this weapon is loaded. Period. No ifs, no ands, no buts. The only time the weapon is not loaded is if it is being melted down for scrap iron. That simple. It's always loaded. 2, keep your booger hook off the bang switch until you are ready to make the weapon go bang. 3, never point it at anything that you are unwilling to destroy. It's not a toy. It is a tool, and if used improperly can be a very dangerous tool. I cannot overstress this. 4, always be aware of your target and what is behind it. Be safe out there.